Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at these charts as everything seems to be powering on through. The rest of the altcoin market hammering hard as Bitcoin more or less just narrowly avoided hitting that $100,000 zone. I mean, it basically did it, but it basically didn't. So it front run it. So look, this might not be the top on this. It could obviously go straight through. I don't know if you've noticed a pattern here. This is not uncommon, but we basically have a surge on Bitcoin. Bitcoin stays static. Altcoins continue to rally. Then it would appear that they filter back into Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin has another run up. Now, this is your dominance chart here, and over the last 3 days it's been going down. I was looking for a bounce around here. We've not received it. So this looks like it might be getting ready to break down, but break down only into another higher low of sorts. So you do have to be prepared for that. I'm not absolutely not calling for a massive continuation on this without a pullback. We've been waiting for a pullback now for about 3 days, to be honest with you, and it's we've not really had it. Ethereum's only really just getting started, and with that we're pushing this double top area. Let's have a look at the momentum. Well, yeah, if it carries on like this, we will have bearish divergence. You also will have it on the MACD on the daily. But emotions are resilient to technical analysis. We've got a clear breakout here on RSI since we hit the golden cross. The reason I'm looking at Ethereum is because it's going to dictate the size of any continuation move on the Bitcoin dominance chart, because it takes up such a large portion of the market for altcoins. So if we do rally up on this one, and based on a weekly, the next major tops are going to be, if not already at 3,500, just close to, if not exactly, $4,000. And then another extension on that is going to be towards 4,600, which is the all-time high. Look, these things can happen. The sentiment is strong for altcoins. People are continuously and permanently in a state of emotional sort of buying. There's plenty of warning signs across the board, I would say, for like a major pullback. And if we were to get a pullback, just based on Ethereum and most other altcoins, I would say, the golden crosses, which are just forming, would be key to not just pull back into, but pull back into and bounce from. These give the best entries at this stage now. So if you didn't buy into any accumulation zones, and again, we've had lots of opportunity to buy into these accumulation zones, but if you haven't bought into them and you want to buy altcoins, you are obviously risking a lot buying significant highs, especially like even for Ethereum. Really, it depends on your overall first of all, your risk tolerance, and also your expectations. I'm always trying to explain to people, if you enter a trade, you've got to have a full plan for that. I plan to buy this and I plan to sell this over what sort of time frame, what's my expectation. You can't just buy willy-nilly and just hope for the best. You do have to have a plan, right? You've got to have a plan. And so if you haven't bought low, this, as much as I believe everything's going to continue to go up over the rest of the year, which again is the overall analysis that I've explained many, many, many times, I'll just show you one last time, because surprisingly I made a video yesterday saying, like, oh, XRP is very powerful, which it is, and I was sort of assuming some sort of temporary pullback on it, and with that, a continuation up to new highs. You know how bullish I am. Even the thumbnail's bullish, and somebody goes, "No, you don't understand. This, that, and the other." I was like, "Hang on, that's how? Why?" And I said, "No, I get all of that. I'm bullish on this." And he goes, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were hating on XRP," with a thumbnail saying XRP's bullish and blah blah blah. Top targets are looking to extend over here over this X amount of time. So you just, there is an emotional component to that even when I'm being bullish, it's still perceived as bearish, which is crazy. So the emotions are extremely high. And normally when emotions are high, technicals, they become less useful, because it's those emotions that push them up. But it's also the emotions that will come, that allow it to come crashing back down again. So keeping your emotions out of any kind of trade is the best way, and to plan. You might not execute your trade today, tomorrow, next week. There will come a point. It's like fishing. I always say trading's like fishing. You can't jump in and swimming around trying to catch a fish is crazy. You have to sit at the side with a little bit of bait and wait wait for the right time. And then when the fish bites, you reel it in. That's a trade, basically. You cannot rush it. So this has and has always been my expectation for the total 2, which is that we will consolidate throughout this summer and break out towards the end of this year. And here we go. The breakout is phenomenal. So far, making a new local high. An all-time high is going to be up here at 1.5 trillion. Which it could even see that before we have a pullback. You know, looking at momentum over here, there's plenty of room to run. There's nothing to be afraid of here. So, you know, all our hodl bags are nestled in safely as we accumulated really. The end of the summer was always the way. It's always the way. I said to everybody at the beginning of last October, September, October, said there's an alt season coming. People didn't like it. They saw it. It existed in front of their face. As we nestled in down here, sold these peaks and then in and out throughout these, and then we basically allowed it to consolidate and started to buy around these areas, and now look, new all-time high. So it's exactly as expected. I am not bearish on this market. I feel relatively responsible, I suppose, for people who watch these videos, because there's a lot of people out there who will just say ridiculous things for you to go off and they don't care. They just want you to click on their video and you will act on perhaps maybe, you know, their analysis, and it might not even be analysis. It's just clickbait. That's not what I want to do. I've never wanted to do that. I've went through the 2 full-on bull markets in the past. This is my 3rd one. Been in crypto for a long time, and the last one was amazing. But when it all came to a head, you know, and emotions were high, people were sending me direct messages on Telegram and stuff saying, you know, I'm thinking of remortgaging, I'm thinking of doing this, thinking of doing that. And I was like, don't do that. You know, you are entering in at the last stage of the market. It's parabolic. You can't justify an entry point here, and you certainly can't justify taking on a load of debt to buy, which only might yield you, you know, 100% at best. People did it anyway. 6 months later, I got another wave of DMs saying I'm massively underwater, I bought the peak, what's going to happen? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'd never told you to do anything like that. I was advising everybody against it, and that is not what you want to do. You do not want to buy giant green candles. You're effectively falling into that emotional trap, which is that you're missing out. There will be opportunities to buy lower, or at least buy support. So you can't buy these areas here. So right now, that emotion is really picking up. My YouTube channel's picking up. I hit 20,000. You know, Patreon's picking up. I got more subscriptions on that. And the price action continues to rally despite the warning signs on individual coins. So I'm just trying to put it to you now that emotions are going to be your worst enemy in trading. That's why most people can't do it. You have to hand your emotions as well as read the technicals to get the trades right. And you know, you can't justify buying anything that's not hit a support. So it's sad for those who didn't buy accumulations, especially on things like XRP, which has obviously gone absolutely crazy. But it's not. You've not missed out. There will be opportunities. I just want to put this to you now that if XRP decides to plummet, we've got moving averages down here at 44% lower than where we are in the 80s. You've also got a golden cross down all the way down here just around 60 cents. It's a 61% retrace from today's price action. You think it can't happen, but it definitely can happen. I'm not saying that it will, but it definitely can. You just got to have the patience for it. So I'm not here to ruin your party, or you know, I just want to make sure that you guys are safe when you're trading, because if you're new to trading, or if you're not even trading, if you're just somebody that wants to buy some cryptocurrency and you're looking for some advice on the internet is not usually it's not a good place for advice. It's a business in itself. People are looking for your engagement, looking to make money off ad revenue, looking to sell you things, and that's what they want. And so you will, people will naturally gravitate to what appears to be, the most bullish, emotionally driven thumbnail and I suppose analysis, if you want to call it that. But what they won't tell you is, or I imagine for the most part they won't tell you, is the risks that you're getting yourself involved in. Now, we have spent a long time waiting for this, basically the majority of the year waiting for this, and layering in to a variety of altcoins throughout the last part of the summer into Q4. Right, so this is what it takes, I'm afraid, to make the big money. You have to have the confidence in your own analysis. You have to have a reason to buy it. You have to accept that you don't know where the low is, but you are going to safely assume that the high is going to be much higher than where you bought it from. And it took us effectively the whole year to plan this, what's happening right now. So that is patience and planning, right? That's what it took to enjoy this period right now where we're like 100, 200, in some cases more % up over a couple of weeks. It took effectively a year's worth, or the best part of a year's worth of planning to enjoy this rally. You don't just wake up one day and go, right, that's it, all in 100x. You know, that's not what you do. that's certainly not what we did. You know, the same thing happened over here. You know, I was like, okay, I think it's time to enjoy alt season. This is where I would imagine a peak to be. Exited a lot of my positions around there. That is not a bad trade. And then in and out throughout this period, which is like considered to be borrowed time. So, and then look, quite happily accepting that a consolidation is going to take place throughout the entire summer and to go about your life. So somebody out there is going to tell you to buy now. And that's fine if you're going to do that. It's completely up to you if that's how you want to go about, trading these markets. But for me, I have to say, I know that a lot of people don't know what they're doing, and that's fine, or they're still learning and they're looking for advice. The emotions are running high. They feel like they're missing out. You're not missing out. You're missing out perhaps on this first stage of the rally, but the retest is going to happen at some point of these golden crosses. Most of the time, or at least a good 70% of the time. So the odds are in your favour of a pullback into these areas. That would be Ethereum coming down currently to around 2,800. It doesn't have to happen today, tomorrow, or next week. But as these golden crosses take place and they extend, you'll be looking for a move down into it. Remember, a lot of these trades that we're talking about, that we're looking at, have got these Ichimoku conversion baseline cross trend signals. Most of them had them, and this is why I was very vocal about them when they formed a couple of weeks ago. I said, look, there's so many altcoins that are doing the same thing. Really, buying and just allowing for these trend signals to play out is a great idea, because you can enter them and then exit them when it tells you to exit. They're still in play at the moment. So a move down and bounce back up is perfectly normal. The trend signal is still happy to allow it to go. And this is just Ethereum. So many altcoins were doing it, which is why I said this is the easiest part of the market. Sit back and just get rich, basically, but only if you entered into it from a lower period. The next lower period will be given to you, but don't forget what crypto is like. Crypto does go up massively, like we're seeing right now. It also goes down massively. You don't want to be stuck in a position from a high level because you didn't wait. You'd be much better off waiting for the opportunity. So it's just a word of warning, really, for those of you who are feeling like you've missed out. You might have missed out on this portion of the rally, but you haven't missed out overall. The worst thing you can do is buy high and then get smashed down low. I really can't stress it enough. I don't want to see all these DMs come through to me about how people have bought the tops and now they've lost all their money, and then they've sold the bottoms because they didn't want to see it go down anymore, and then it bounced from those supports and goes up to a new higher high. The markets trick people. There's a huge psychological component to it. It's a little bit like poker, I sometimes feel, and at the moment, you feel like you can't lose, but you will, and you could easily lose, right? So another depressing video for you there on the on the weekend. But for those of us who have accumulated these lower zones, we are literally just enjoying the ride. But that has taken a lot of planning to do that, and a lot of patience and a lot of conviction in higher term time frame analysis. And so I suppose in many ways we kind of deserve this rally, because it's been planned really since the end of spring. And so it feels and looks like it's easily done, but it's not. It's taken a lot of patience. It's taken 6 months of planning, 3 months of accumulating, and now we're starting to see the fruits of our planning. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.